morning to you. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in to Still Up with 6, where the conversation continues on all your social media platforms. And I think we want to jump right into this because I think a lot of people are going to have a lot to say about our big topic of the day. Of course, we're talking about the Seas Aquarium that's been rumored to open at the Temple Mall for a couple months now. The signs say that it was supposed to open last month, but there's been 2 delays now.
Yeah, they've got come with some pretty big promises. It's a story we've been following very closely here. You know, these are the signs. It says marine life coming to the Temple Mall in January of 2020. Of course, we know that deadline has come and gone. The interesting thing about this story, where it does get a little bit shady, is that the curator of the aquarium is making all these promises, saying it's going to open by the end of the month, saying that construction is well underway. The city saying something completely different. Yeah,
we actually spoke to the city. Our investigative reporter Andrew Moore spoke to the city, and he actually learned that the city has not received any official documents for the business. The city has no idea what they're even planning to call this place. They have not submitted that information either. And as far as the city's concerned, no construction has even begun.
Yeah, and if you've been past this, where it's supposedly going to be, where the old Dillard's was in the Temple Mall, you can see it doesn't seem like much construction has been done or is going on. You know, you don't see any workers there. You don't see anything moving and grooving. So it does seem a little bit shady.
Now, what's also very interesting about this is we cannot forget to mention, for people who have not heard about this story, there were pre-sale passes already being sold for about $100 a person for the year, an annual pass. And they did this pre-sale deal saying that you buy this before we open in order for you guys to have this deal and get the best cost and price for it. And so that's what's really interesting about this, is that they're already making money without even starting construction at this place.
Well, and here's the thing too. They came out and they said, hey, if you have a concern, you bought a pre-sale ticket, you can get a refund. They gave them an area to give a refund. And as far as we know right now, those refunds have yet to be honored, which is certainly an interesting thing. Catherine says, this mall is a joke. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that mall. Well, it's kind of a funny comment there coming from Catherine. It is kind of sad to see how many stores have left recently.
It's really sad walking through that mall. Angela weighing in, asking when will it open, then went on to say what wow and added very shady. So Angela, that's a big question. Is it even going to open is what a lot of people are asking this morning. Catherine simply saying scam. It's really interesting. Edward, good morning to you, and hello to you, Liz. So we're getting a lot of comments, a lot of viewers this morning. We also got a lot of comments on our Facebook page in regards to our talker of the day. This is a topic we discussed all morning long. I think we have some of the comments. Let's take a look at what Donald has to say.
Yeah, if it was my money invested, I would have had a concern. Not my money, not my problem. So people are weighing in this morning saying, you know, it's not a concern to them if it doesn't open because they haven't put their money in. But there are people that have put their hard-earned money towards this.
Including some businesses. I believe Peggy's Coffee House has invested as well and put in some money. Karen says, I think it's bogus. It would be great to see this happen for Temple, but I call bluff. I will believe it when I see it.
That's what a lot of people are saying, and this is coming from Abby. When it said there would be a lazy river in the store that used to be Toys R Us, I knew there was no way it would be real. Also, I've been to the aquarium at Grapevine Mall. While it's pretty nice, there's no space for a lazy river. Yeah, there was just so many, I think, bold claims coming out at the beginning of this thing. And of course, there's still time. They could perhaps follow through, but it does seem pretty outlandish.
Now, the other thing that's a little bit concerning about this story is that the curator says that they plan to open by the end of the month, right? It is February 26th. They have 4 days up until the 29th. So starting from today, 4 days, including today, to open their doors. And if the city hasn't received any documents for this business, they're far from opening. And not to mention, construction hasn't begun. You mentioned a good point. If you ever go to that mall or have been in the past couple of months, I haven't seen one person walking in and out. I haven't seen any construction. And usually when a business is coming to the mall and they're trying to speed up the process, you'll see them working day and night.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, too, is that our investigative team and our news team has tried to track down this curator to sit down for an interview and to hash this all out, right? There's a lot of people that have a lot of questions. Of course, even on our Facebook page right now, a lot of people have a lot of questions and are calling it for what they feel is a scam. So it would be easy enough, I think, for this curator to sit down with us and discuss it. We're hoping that we were hoping that he eventually does, but so far we've had no answers.
Yeah, and I think that's a really frustrating part, especially for the people who have bought the pre-sale tickets. Let's take a look at Mike saying, ever been to the Austin Aquarium? That's not a real aquarium. Didn't think this was worth the pre-order. So he's saying that he didn't think the Temple Aquarium was worth pre-ordering tickets for. Angela saying it's a scam. Good morning to you, Jeff. Thank you for tuning in. And
Janice says there was a big feed on Facebook not too long ago where people were concerned about this issue. They assured everyone it was legit. Sounds like people knew best. Well, it is interesting. If you head over to their Facebook page, there's a lot of kind of quelling
questions,
and the Facebook page has said, well, we're set to open. Now we take these claims from the curator, and what we need to do is make sure they're legit. So we take them to the city, and the city is saying something entirely different. So it's either a major breakdown of communication or something's not on the up and up.
Well, I think the biggest question is, at the end of the day, they do have to go through the city. They have to follow city ordinances in order to open inside the Temple Mall, which is owned by the city. So at the end of the day, if the city is not being up to date on what's going on, the curator is saying this is going to open, but the city hasn't received any documents, any paperwork, or any of that, then my question is, are they ever going to open?
Yeah, certainly a lot of people having that question. Good morning to you, Victoria. Thank you so much for joining us. And I think it would be easy, right, to come out, and there have been a lot of questions swirling around about this. It would be easy enough if everything was on the up and up to come forward and say, hey, here's what's going on. If you have questions, I'd be happy to address them, and maybe even take us behind the scenes. What does construction look like right now if it has been going on?
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that's missing in this whole puzzle right now, and I think that's what's raising a lot of questions and concerns is that, we're not hearing from the curator on camera. We're not hearing, every time we've tried to reach out, we've set up interviews that have been canceled or just never followed through, and I think that's the big missing piece here is we want answers. The public needs answers. We'd love to see, here's the thing, I'd love to see this personally in the Temple Mall. I think that the Temple Mall is trying to shift its attention to entertainment. I know we're getting a new trampoline, go-karting type place coming soon as well. And of course, the movie's been open all these years. The arcade's been open all these years. So maybe that's what they're focusing on, entertainment. And this would be cool to have. I mean, I love the idea, but I just don't like empty promises.
Yeah, certainly a lot of questions will continue to swirl about this aquarium, whether or not it's ever going to come to fruition. It's a story we're definitely going to stay on.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
As we're going to follow this. We've got a couple more days till the end of the month where maybe it'll be pushed back again, which is, by all accounts, seems to be the case right now.
But maybe, just maybe, we'll start to get the city getting some more answers as well on their end. I'm sure they're probably questioning what's going on, why are these ads being put up, but yet we haven't received any documents. Of course, there is a process for owning a business and opening one on city property.
Naomi says, who went to meet them the other day? So interesting. There was a setup there, and of course there was an idea. I think was to have some kind of form open questionnaire. I'm not sure that came to fruition. We had our photographer went by there and to see what was going on, and couldn't see anyone.
Yeah, and it's interesting because they were calling that a grand opening waiting party because that was the day they were supposed to open. They were supposed to open their doors on Monday, and that's when they wanted to host that. Let's see.
Jamie says, has anyone demanded a refund due to delays? It should clarify if it's a scam. Now, that is certainly what we've heard so far. Now, is that the refunds have not yet been
processed,
honored.
yeah.
But we haven't really heard from anyone whether or not their refund has been honored or if they've demanded a refund, so we're waiting to hear that. That would be an interesting test as to see whether or not this was legit. Yeah,
and Tiffany says Temple Mall hasn't been good since the Carousel and Whataburger left. Yeah, I do think it is going downhill, but I do think that this was kind of the opportunity to fill those gaps and bring more people to the mall. It is sad when you walk through the mall to see so many stores have closed their doors. And it's not just the Temple Mall. We've seen it in the Waco Mall, the Killeen Mall. It just seems like the malls in Central Texas are just going downhill. And I do think online shopping is a reason for that, but also giving people a reason to go to the mall. And I think this would have been one of them.
Hey, Susan says, this is awful. How do I get my money back? Susan, this is really interesting. So they have offered some kind of link to to process a refund. So maybe click that link on their Facebook page and let us know, Susan, if you can, if that refund is honored or not.
Yeah, we'd love to get a follow-up from you, Susan, about your inquiry to get your money back. Kimberly simply saying scam. Amy saying this is a headache. And Mike saying people saw a fake photo of Dave & Buster's coming to the Killeen Mall and everyone was so excited. Same thing happened here, it seems.
Well, I think the difference there is, if that was a fake photo, then you can, we know how that goes with our Verify segment. People can generate excitement.
Oh, yeah.
But this is something that people are promising. The people, there's signs really in the mall and boarded things that says this is coming soon.
Amy says we are out $300.
Wow.
Wow.
Amy, it'd be interested to know, have you asked for a refund? Have you tried to get that processed? And if so, what has been the response?
That's what this is why I like this conversation we're having here on Still Up, because we're hearing your real life stories and situations when it comes to this business, and we want to follow up with you. So send us a message. Tell us what all they're saying to you when it comes to getting your money back. I mean, $300 is a lot of money to just lose like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Amy, let us know what your situation is. Tiffany said she read a report the aquarium was moving to the old Dillard's. So yeah, that's what we're talking about this morning. What have they done in the original location? I'm not sure. The original Dillard's, they moved the Dillard's to a new location.
To where the Macy's was located.
Right. And so, man, Amy, I can't believe that. That's a tough situation. This is the first we've heard of this. Okay, so she's just hearing now that there's a breakdown in communication with the city. Now, Amy, this is not to say it won't come to fruition.
Yeah,
there's just a lot of questions about it right now, and our 6 News team is really trying to get to the bottom of it. But so far, certainly the curator of the aquarium saying one thing, the city saying an entirely different thing, that they don't even have the correct documentation.
Deborah saying, I was out $150, said it would take 5 to 7 business days, so you have submitted an inquiry to get your money back. Is that, I believe like that's what I'm reading.
I wonder if those 5 to 7 business days have passed yet. Deborah would be interested to hear from you to see if maybe that refund was honored. If you have had a refund that was honored, definitely reach out to us, because that's an important update to this story.
It is, yeah.
And certainly for people who are still waiting to get their money back, or maybe are resigned to the fact they might not.
Let's see. Man, I can't believe this. Yeah, and here's the thing. We're not saying that. So yeah, Deborah did submit an inquiry. So we want to wait and see. Let us know what happens after the 5 to 7 business days have passed. I think that's going to be really, really important and pivotal in this whole breakdown. And it's not to say, we're not saying they're not going to open. We're just saying what we've heard from the city, what we've heard from the curator in regards to this location, and of course the timing. They're saying it's going to be open at the end of the month. We know that the month is almost to an end now. So that's another thing. That's another big point and big question mark, is why are they saying they're going to be open at the end of the month when they have 4 days to open? So, and it's not to say they won't, but it's just an update that we are giving you and what we're learning, that all that information coming from Temple officials.
Yeah, absolutely. So continue talking about this on our Talker of the Day. It's a story we're going to continue to follow. Again, we want to reiterate, we're not saying this is a scam one way or another. What we're saying is that there's a lot of questions that are still unanswered at this point. It seems like, according to our Facebook feed here, a lot of you have questions as well. We are doing our best to try to get in contact with this curator, get an interview, clarify some of these points, because right now a lot of confusion, I think. But it's important to say, we're not saying this is not happening, it's a scam. We are saying right now there's questions, and there's a big disconnect between what the city's saying and what we're hearing. Yeah, and if you do want to request a refund, Deborah seems like she's going to share the link for everyone who's interested in requesting a refund. If you want to wait it out, you surely can as well. I know a lot of people are sad, just like Antron. Him and his wife and kids were really ready to go to this, so they're really saddened by it. And I think we all were kind of excited to see happy things happening at the Temple Mall. So this is something we will continue to follow. Download the 6 News app on your smartphone. That's where we will push all the latest information, and of course keep you updated on the status of Seas Aquarium and when and if it is going to open. This is coming from Myra, says, we were also ready for the big opening the other day, and we're about to leave and head out that way. This is just too much. I'm so sorry for those that spent good money on this. Yeah, hopefully there comes a solution that's a good solution for everyone involved. We do want to say thank you guys for joining our conversation this morning. Certainly a lot of good insight has been shared, a lot of good opinions and good thoughts, and so we'll continue to stay on this story. But for right now, we are going to say goodbye to you here on this Wednesday morning. Yeah, time's up. Oh, man. Well, we will continue updating you. I know this is a really, really important topic for a lot of you, especially if you have invested some money. So download the 6 News app, and of course, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 4:30 to 7 a.m.